It's Friday. Welcome to Prime Business with me, Emma Davis. To our stories, the Cement Manufacturing Development Committee has instructed cement manufacturers to publish all factory prices of cement by Monday to evaluate and arrive at a fair cement price to ensure transparency. This follows the refusal of cement manufacturers to reverse the price increment of cement after a directive from the Ministry of Trade. The manufacturers had argued their decision was based on the continuous depreciation of the cedi. But responding to these concerns, Chairman of the Cement Manufacturing Development Committee, Professor Alex Dodu, said the cement manufacturers have to publish their cost build-up on Monday to ascertain a new price of cement.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry, or government, correctly, laid a legislative instrument, LI 2480, which regulates cement or the cement industry, in particular cement manufacture in Ghana, the location, the site, the types, etc., etc. That legislative instrument, LI 2480, gives the Minister for Trade and Industry the legislative power to provide licenses for cement factory, to also issue licenses for the production of cement, and importantly, to regulate the sale, manufacture, wholesale, and retail of cement. The minister's directive to the committee when it launched the committee on the 8th of March was clear. Cement price increases should be regulated and should pass through the committee, and the ministry should be involved. He also charged the industry to publish the ex-factory prices for cement to prevent arbitrary increases at the marketplace. Over the past few weeks, there have been increases in cement prices. We all know that. So the minister says, let there be a reversal. This morning, the Cement Manufacturing Development Committee that I chair on behalf of government met all members of the committee, which includes the AGI, the cement manufacturers, as well as the EPA, MESI, and the Ministry of Trade. And we've had a detailed discussion that will be feeding back to the ministry. Essentially, the minister wants transparency in how cement prices are determined. Secondly, the minister insists that just like for petrol, there should be a unified pricing mechanisms. Industry also has its views, exchange rate changes, high cost of clinker, and the like. We have all agreed that as a minimum, consumers must understand the price build-up and what goes into cement prices, so that if there must be increases, they can be justified and they can be acceptable. So it's about transparency, openness, and communication. And the industry has accepted that. So we shall be feeding back to the industry, and we shall be issuing quite a few public notices in this regard.
Ghana's economy in post-COVID has left many scratching their heads over the friendliness of the country's business environment, which has led to some multinationals packing out and some more set to follow. But new Managing Director of Unila Ghana PLC, Chris Wolf-Caesar, says the company remains committed to investment in the country despite current challenges. Correspondent Kwame Yanka has more.
The factory tour gave journalists first-hand experience into how Unila Ghana PLC's home and personal care brands are produced. Having operated in the country for decades, the company continues to churn out these products to meet market demands. Unila Ghana PLC's operations, like many businesses out there, are negatively impacted by the country's business environment, from erratic power supply to currency depreciation. However, Managing Director of Unila Ghana PLC, Chris Wolf-Caesar, says the company will continue to invest in the country despite these challenges, which must be addressed.
When you walked around, you realize that there is still investment going on in our factory. And we still talk about consumers, and we still talk about brands and products and whatnot. I think what that means is sends a signal that Unilever still sees Ghana as a good investment destination. Okay, in my first month as MD of this company, I have visited the Ghana Stock Exchange. I have visited the AGI leadership. I have visited Ghana Employers Association. I have visited, more importantly, the markets. Because the message that I want to send out very clearly is that Unilever is here to stay in Ghana. We've been here for, over 100 years? And we've never shirked away from our responsibility in playing our part in the development of the economy of Ghana.
Meanwhile, asked if the cost of production could in any way affect prices of their products, Chris Wolf Caesar responded in the affirmative.
The answer is yes, up to a point. And the reason why it's yes is, if you look at the economy of Ghana, there's a lot of things that we actually import inflation into this country by virtue of the way the shape of the economy is. And I guess if we need to continue to produce, because we're a manufacturing and commercial concern, not a charity, and therefore it's important not to undermine the value that shareholders have put in this business. And therefore, there are times that we have to look at our entire value chain, look at the cost structure, and see what we can take and what the consumer would have to pay for. Where it is related to inflation, which is not necessarily something that's caused by Unilever as a concern, obviously we will have to pass that on to the consumer.
Unilever Ghana PLC has assured consumers and shareholders of its readiness to grow, having recovered from a dip in the last few years.
Bank of Ghana says it has no intention of deliberately keeping the policy rate high. It follows reports that the central bank has been going on this path to profit out of these actions. But the Bank of Ghana insists it remains committed to pursuing sound monetary policies aimed at achieving a stable level of inflation in line with its medium-term target. Bernard Otabil speaks for the Bank of Ghana.
Who makes that statement that the central bank would deliberately keep monetary policy rate high in order to make profit? I mean, perhaps, that's not fully understand, central banking. I mean, it is rather the opposite. The higher the policy rate, the more losses that the central bank would incur in its operations. But that's the price central banks actually pay in the performance of their duty. And in actual fact, in achieving the policy objective, central banks globally do end up making losses. But what exactly is the role of the central bank? And that's where we have to situate it in context. And I believe that that's where perhaps the misconception or the misunderstanding really lie. Now, for us as a central bank, the Bank of Ghana is committed to pursuing monetary policy that would, lead to price stability. And what does it mean? For us, we've defined price stability in terms of a medium-term target of 8 plus or minus 2%. Now, we believe, and it is a view that is held globally, or that was the economics of my youth, and it's still the economics of today, that if prices are not stable, it has very big consequential effects on everybody. All economic agents suffer when prices are out of the roof or prices are not controlled. Take the case of an ordinary worker. If prices go up, what happens is that your real income, that is what you could have purchased with your previous or with your salary, with your current salary, is going to reduce simply because inflation now becomes an added tax. So we normally would say, in a case where wages are not indexed to the rate of inflation, you would realize that there is always a loss effect on every economic agent when inflation is so high.
Fidelity Bank has signed an agreement with Prostera to empower small and medium enterprises to support them to go through the Ghana Integrated Financial Ecosystem Platform. The Divisional Director of Retail and Business Banking at Fidelity Bank, Nana A.C. Aidan Akes, emphasized the crucial role of SMEs in Ghana. There's more in this report.
Really an exciting moment for us as Fidelity Bank. We are very excited to sign up to the GIFI platform. This presents yet another opportunity for us as a bank to provide the needed solutions to the modern SME today to help them compete locally, regionally, and globally. In addition to all the programs and platforms and solutions we've been offering to SMEs, this provides the opportunity for us to merge digital innovation and also financing, as well as capacity building for SMEs. And we are very hopeful that all SMEs who sign up to this platform will have the unparalleled opportunity of positioning themselves to be a global player in whichever sector or area of endeavors they are currently in. We look forward to working with Propstera to really deepen the dominance of Ghanaian SMEs, and we believe that we will be able to work with a lot more stakeholders in the various value chains to make this a possibility.
Well, that was Nana AC Aidanakis with Fidelity Bank. Away from the banking industry, accounting firm KPMG has reiterated its commitment to build capacity of the youth by encouraging the habit of reading amongst school pupils. Speaking to Joy Business, Maushi Jikuno, senior manager at KPMG, explained that the exercise, which is held annually, will contribute to building a generation which will positively contribute to Ghana's socioeconomic development. More in this report.
Celebrated on April 23rd annually, aims to promote reading among students. However, many corporate organizations worldwide extend the celebrations by hosting activities before and after the designated date. In Ghana, KPMG, an accounting firm, consistently organizes mentorship sessions and donates books to students. At a ceremony to inspire reading among pupils of the Kanda cluster of schools, Patience Jikunu, senior manager at KPMG, explains the rationale behind the initiative.
At KPMG, as part of our corporate social responsibilities, to celebrate the World Book Day with them. As I mentioned, when it was the actual day, which is 23rd of April, the school was on vacation, so we agreed with them a day to meet with them, and that's why we are here. To donate these books to them, encourage the children to read, and also mentor them for a better tomorrow. What we do is donation of books to various schools, deprived schools within our community, and to help the children improve upon their vocabulary, improve upon their knowledge, encourage them to read daily.
She emphasized that developing healthy reading habits in children will foster a knowledgeable generation.
Seeing what we are doing here, we are serving as mentors to them. They will see that when they also grow up, when they read, they also grow up and become responsible citizens. They will need to give back to the community. The government cannot do it all. We, as private businesses, also need to help in bringing up our communities, and that's how we can build a better Ghana tomorrow.
The Circuit Supervisor of Education in charge of the Kanda Circuit, Antoinette Aye Akrong, noted that the gesture will motivate students to study diligently and excel in their examinations.
I think this kind gesture should go to all schools, and then this will boost their morale to read. It will also increase the pass rate. When we talk about our BEC, it will also increase the pass rate, and then they will urge to move on to SHS and then to other heights. So not here alone, but they should extend it to other areas that they are also in need. You know, bringing such things boosts the morale of learners. And then when they see other people coming to their aid, they know they are not on the journey alone. They have the maximum support of every agency.
Deloitte Ghana says it will continue to improve the quality of lives of people through appropriate and sustainable corporate social responsibility interventions in communities. Country Managing Partner Daniel Kwejo Owusu reaffirmed the company's commitment to ensure sustainability. He spoke to Joy Business at the firm's Volunteer Day in some selected schools.
Second year running, over 400 employees of Deloitte Ghana left their offices to dedicate their working day to teach, mentor, and ultimately inspire school children at a free cluster of schools in the Greater Accra region. Speaking to Joy Business, Country Managing Partner of Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Kwejo Owusu said, corporate volunteerism is one of the cardinal principles of their purpose of impacting directly thousands of children and their wider society.
So Volunteers Day for us is a day that we dedicate as a firm across Africa. It's our 7,000 employees. In Ghana, over almost 500 employees that will dedicate their time. We expect everybody to spend a time to do community work. In Ghana in particular, we've decided to spend our time in education, to mentor these children, to teach them how to read and write, just to inspire them. So the main aim is to inspire these children to say the sky is the limit. And again, if you look at it, education is a key to poverty eradication. And for us, our aim is if you can educate the child, if you can get them to understand why they have to educate themselves, that is the beginning of eradicating poverty in the community where they come from. So that is why we set them this Volunteer Day aside for every staff of Deloitte across Africa. And so all our offices are shut. When you go to our offices, you meet anybody there now. We are dedicating the whole time doing community work today. It's just to give back to the society.
Deloitte Volunteer Day is an annual event dedicated to highlighting the firm's ongoing dedication to creating positive social change through community involvement. The day serves as a powerful demonstration of Deloitte's commitment to making a meaningful impact in the communities it serves.
The Global Evangelical Mission Hospital in the Ejiso municipality is recording an overwhelming number of vulnerable patients who are unable to foot medical bills. The facility is compelled to use its already scarce resources to care for patients as well as foot unpaid bills. As an intervention, Star Life Assurance has donated some medical supplies to the maternity ward of the hospital to lessen their plight. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
Equitable access to quality and low-cost healthcare services remain a big problem in Ghana. Some patients treated and discharged, especially new mothers, often wander around hospital premises or occupy bed spaces due to their inability to pay medical bills. The persistent situation could deprive the health facility of resources to take care of new patients. Since January this year, the Global Evangelical Mission Hospital has had to absorb the medical bills of 22 vulnerable patients. Faith Amanfo is the hospital's administrator.
It's just a small community that is in, and we all need support. This donation will go a long way to actually serve our purpose of health delivery. There are so many patients. We are Czech facility, Mission Hospital. People come without money, without any support, without insurance. Then we can't also let them go. So we still go ahead to serve them. So this donation will go a long way to serve poor people who cannot really afford their medical bill.
As an intervention, Star Life Assurance has provided medical supplies, including infrared thermometers, surgical gloves, scale, and sanitary materials to the maternity department of Global Evangelical Church Hospital. The insurance company also made a cash donation to foot the unpaid bills of 2 vulnerable new mothers, affording them a chance to go home. Northern Sector Zonal Manager for Star Life Assurance, Ebenezer Amisa, says the gesture affirms the company's commitment to positively impacting lives.
So as part of our social impact program, Star Life Assurance actually partnered GPCC, Ghana Pentecostal Council and Charismatic Church, to actually come to support. Mother's Day is a special occasion where we actually try to go to hospitals to assist. But so because we have that affiliation with GPCC, we partnered with the GPCC affiliate hospitals to do such donations so that our mothers on this day and in this very particular month will feel very special and appreciated in that order. And we also not only donated the items, but we are also paying bills of mothers. So we have to make sure that they need to feel comfortable, not only doing business, and the church also not only actually into the savings rules, but rather helping them out of their needy, and at the end of the day we can achieve a common goal.
Star Life Assurance partnered with the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council on the celebration of this year's Mother's Day to support the maternity wards and nursing mothers in some mission hospitals. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Council, Apostle Dr. Bright Bill Kwabla Susu, encouraged other stakeholders to respond to calls from struggling health facilities.
I want to encourage your viewers, those who can also be a blessing to anybody in need. Sometimes people come to hospital, they are not able to pay for certain drugs because the health insurance doesn't cover it. And then you see nursing mothers not being able to pay for their hospital bills. So we want the general public to respond to such needs anytime they are heard through some of the media houses.
Please join them.
Next, I take you to Mampong in the Eastern region to follow the journey of veteran journalist Araba Kumsin after transitioning into a farmer about a year ago.
After 23 years of active journalism, Araba Kumsin took a gap year to venture into agriculture. According to her, farming is a way to reconnect with memories of her father, as well as a new adventure to challenge her.
When I was younger, my dad had a small farm in the central region. So on holidays, he would take us there. So I think that's where I developed the interest. I mean, personally, I like the outdoors. And so farming came naturally to me. I was at a point in my career, journalism career, where I thought I had reached the top and I needed more of a challenge. And a friend suggested that, I take up farming, because they had a parcel of land that was lying waste. Nothing was being done. And so I should consider, farming. And I said, well, you know what? Everybody eats. So, I mean, it can't go wrong. Yeah. And so that's how I ventured into farming.
Among the many crops she cultivates, Araba is quite enthused about her 3-acre lettuce farm. According to her, including lettuce in one's meal goes a long way toward promoting healthy eating. Hence, her goal of pushing the agenda of including leafy vegetables in diets. She walks us through the process of farming lettuce on an open field.
So, I mean, it starts obviously from planting. You have to make sure that you start by preparing the beds, as you can see behind you. The beds have been prepared. When they are prepared, then the planting begins. We plant the seeds and then nurse them. Once they are nursed, then we transplant onto other beds so that they can grow individually. Because, they bloom, they grow out, and so you need to transplant them as well. And in the course of that, we need to make sure that we irrigate it. As you can see, we have an irrigation system here. And so it's not a matter of just using your hand to irrigate the plants, but, the machine does the work for you. So it facilitates the job. So it needs water and it needs fertilizer. And so we make sure that we apply them as well. Once in a while, we apply some pesticides to keep away the insects because they're attracted to the plants.
One of the major challenges in farming in Ghana is post-harvest losses. Araba sources buyers ahead of harvesting to prevent losses.
My main fears going into this was how to offload the produce, because you hear about, losses from the farms, because farmers are unable to really sell off their produce, and then it goes bad and rotten and they lose money. And I didn't want to be in that situation. So what I did was, even before we harvest the crops, I look for market before we do that. And so I make sure, because we don't have storage facilities currently, what we do is that I look for markets and I make sure that by the time we are harvesting, we have the market and then nothing goes waste.
Araba says the past year as a farmer has been fulfilling and she's excited for the future.
If you're talking about my farming career, well, I just started, and like I said, it's been an exciting ride. I can't wait for what's in store in the future. I do lettuce, but I also do garden eggs, okra, corn, plantain, and cassava, a bit of cassava. So all of that, but I try to focus more on the lettuce because I want people to eat healthy, But the future is bright. I feel that the future is bright. I am looking at collaborating with, big companies who would then export some of the produce.
That's it for Food Chain.
You'd like to catch tomorrow's episode of Food Chain at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel, where not only is lettuce produced on an open field, but in the laboratory using technology. I am Emma Davis, and that's it for tonight on Prime Business. Have a lovely weekend.